In this video, we're going to be talking about the latest K-dramas and my personal reviews on them. I haven't done this in a while, so I thought I would upload my whole batch of K-dramas that I watched since the last episode, as I usually do. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing a couple of K-dramas. I don't know how many I'll get through today, and I'm also in the process of watching one of them. So it's not like the complete review, but otherwise they're all watched except for one, which I just wanted to comment about. Anyway, it's going to be that. If you guys have any K-drama or recommendations that you think are the absolute best K-dramas, please let me know down below because I love watching K-dramas. And if they are shorter, I love them as well. Or movies. Oh my god, I love Korean movies because I personally prefer movies over K-dramas, and I'll be talking about a movie that I really enjoyed in this review as well. So let's just get into it. So the very first K-drama is actually a web drama that is uploaded on a Korean channel, which actually serves to usually teach Korean, and it's essentially like an academy, like Sejong, which is basically the king that created Korean, so that's their name, and they essentially just teach Korean. And to promote their academy and their website, they made a K-drama that is kind of based off of their service essentially. Anyway, it's very interesting, and the title of that is An Idol is Living in My Living Room, or something similar to that. I don't think there's ever been like an official English translation, but that's the direct translation from the Korean one. And essentially why I watched it was because Pentagon Yoon was in it, and I thought it would be interesting because I tried to search for his other K-dramas that he was in, but they weren't that interesting, so I kind of honestly quit them. But this one had my interest because it was a short little web drama, and I haven't seen a web drama in a while, and if you guys don't know what that is, it's essentially just I don't know how to describe it, but more of a light-hearted K-drama that's uploaded onto YouTube rather than, I don't know, shown through different TV platforms, I guess. Like, it's not a Netflix original, it's not on, I don't know, KBS or SBS or whatever. So yeah, I started watching because of Yowon, and I actually really enjoyed it, even though it's like a very casual, very lighthearted drama. I think it had somewhat of a plot, and although things were rushed, that tends to be the case with web dramas. I don't really have a strong review on it because it's just like something that I watched as a just for funsies. And it's interesting because the plot of that basically follows this girl that attended this academy, and because of that she was awarded a trip to Korea. And because of this trip to Korea, she stayed at her teacher's, like her Korean teacher's place, and that Korean teacher's son happened to be Yowon, and Yowon literally plays as himself as a Pentagon member, which is interesting to see, and just nice. And it kind of teaches you like a foreigner's perspective onto Korea. And although she's like ethnically Korean, like this girl, she isn't fluent in Korean because she grew up in the US or such. They actually don't elaborate on her plot that much, but that is the case. Alrighty, so that's all for that because I have no strong opinions on it. Anyway, the next one is The Glory, and a lot of you guys probably have watched The Glory. I've heard something about it. If you haven't, it's that one K-drama where bullying, yay, and then she takes revenge for it. Bullying is not okay. Obviously, that was a joke. Okay, so I honestly personally had to skip the bullying parts because it was too much on me. You guys know I like my lighthearted stuff, so watching that kind of deep, almost gory like things was too uncomfortable for me. However, oh my goodness, I really want to praise the acting because they really combine all of the good actresses, all the good actors into this one show. Like the younger versions of themselves. So the younger bully is played by Shin Yeon, and she's honestly so good at acting. She's so good at what she does, and I'm really impressed by it. And the one who is bullied, like the one that Song Hye-kyo plays, the main character essentially, her younger version of herself is really good as well. And yeah, they're all really good at acting, which makes the show a lot more enjoyable. And just the filming, just the directing of the show is crazy good. It's very high quality, and although it's not personally what I usually would enjoy, that kind of mystery and almost dark, gloomy vibe, although my favorite K-drama is It's Okay Not to Be Okay, it's kind of different because this one really doesn't have any comedic humor aspects to it. Like, comedic reliefs to it. It's just purely just following the main character's journey of taking revenge and also going back and forth between her past and her present of where she's trying to take revenge now. So it's not typically what I enjoy, but at the same time, I did really enjoy it just because it was beautifully directed. And now we have to talk about the various ships that are within the show. So the main character, I actually forgot all of their in drama names, but Song Hye-kyo and Lee Do-hyun. I was a little bit weirded out by their age gap, and although they never really disclose his age or her age to be specific, although her age you can kind of estimate it by the fact that it's a couple years after, not couple, like a decade after high school, so you can kind of estimate it, but for the guy you don't really know. I mean, it's still kind of cute, but at the same time, a little bit odd for me personally. And I'm really excited to see part 2, which is coming out on Netflix. And it's kind of inconvenient that Netflix decided to do this. And it's because like they want more viewership in the later months, like in March. But I don't know, it was a little bit frustrating because I just want to see what happens in part 2, whether she takes revenge or not, and how she'll go about doing that. And yeah, everything's amazing in this, and my favorite character is actually the bully's child. She's so cute, and also that actress, I guess, child actress is really good too. Everyone's just so talented, so they definitely knew what they were doing when they were recruiting everyone. And fun fact, this author is actually, or attended the same high school as my mom did. Yeah, crazy, I know. And it's not like a popular high school or anything, it's just like a random high school out there. So I think that was really cool. She's like 3 years older, like the author is 3 years older or something like that. Maybe 5, 3 to 5, maybe 4. I don't exactly know. So I'm not gonna lie though, I skipped a lot of the scary parts because I'm not one for horror, as I said. So I didn't fully comprehend some of the parts in detail, which is what I tend to do when I skip some of the portions, because all of that adds to the detail. So we're going to get into the one that I fully was on for. Like, I really, really like this movie, and I definitely recommend it. If you take anything away from this K-drama review, is that, well, this is more of a K-movie, but you need to watch this, because it's really good. So the movie is titled Sweet and Sour, and I was originally looking for some short movies that I could watch. Not short, but, you know, shorter than K-dramas, because K-dramas tend to be like 15 to 20 hours long, and I'm not really in for that. But movies are better because they're like 2 hours long and not that much of an investment, and you just have to focus for the entire 2 hours and you've got the plot down. Anyway, I watched it because I literally searched up K-movie, and this is one of the top ones. And initially I didn't really want to watch it because like the thumbnail was a little bit weird, but it was really nice. Like, I'm so glad I decided to watch it because initially you get the vibe that it's very cute, very lighthearted, exactly what I want. So it was perfectly my type of movie, my type of any Korean drama. And I haven't had my dose of romance in a while. Like I said, the ones before were pretty heavy for me. So I was glad to almost get that cute, lighthearted vibe. Because every once in a while, you need one of those in the mix, no matter how bad they are. Although this one is not bad at all. Although some may find it a little bit cringy initially, you'll get it. Because it's, I don't want to spoil too much about it, but essentially how it goes is there's this girl, and she is a nurse, and there's this guy, and he is a patient, and I forgot what illness he has, but I don't know, it's the one that makes you go yellow, jaundice? Yeah, that one. And he essentially falls in love with the nurse, and the nurse is like also kind of in love. And then, oh my god, wait, how do I even explain this without. Anyway, that's where it begins. And the dude is basically almost in denial of this, or doesn't think it's real, and he doesn't want to leave the hospital because he is overweight, and because of that he thinks he doesn't have a chance. However, the nurse seems to be pretty accepting of him, which is great, and that's why it's so cute. Like, I kind of feel bad for him because he's basically teased by all his friends, like, are you sure it's not in your imagination, is how they text him, and no one really comes to visit him because they think it's like a contagious thing. I don't think it was a contagious illness in the end, but that's what's essentially the opinion about him. And yeah, even though it's a pretty lighthearted K-drama, not K-drama, I need to stop saying that, K-movie, it's really high quality. Like, the cinematography is really high quality, and I really enjoyed it thoroughly. And it's a little bit unrealistic because of how fast-paced everything is. And later on it'll definitely make sense, but how they get together and how she initially is like smoking as a nurse, like that's so unrealistic. But everything is extremely fast-paced, and I was thinking, oh, okay, then what's gonna happen for the rest of this movie if it's so fast paced? You know, I was like wondering what's gonna happen, and it almost feels like a Disney short movie. If you guys have watched that one Disney short movie about the dumpling, that's actually the son, and then later he almost adults and he leaves his house. I think is the general plot of that Disney short movie. It really reminded me of that for some reason, just the way it was filmed, the filtering of the movie and all. And yeah, it was it was a similar vibe to that. So if you like those Disney short movies, I do think there is somewhat of a correlation. I think the director was inspired. Wait, this actually kind of makes me wonder, who is this director? Because I want to watch more of their stuff. Director. Ikebo? I've never heard of any other... Oh, hepatitis B. Oh, yeah, yeah, that's what the illness was. Wait, but what did he direct other than Sweet and Sour? Imagine that's like the only thing. No, I'm sure. Sweet and Sour, Cheer Up Mr. Lee, The Beast and the Beauty? Okay, so these are like not so very known. Also, why did he have such a long break? Because the first thing he ever directed, a movie, was 2007, and then 2019, and then 2021. Huh, that's very interesting. So he's not like a super well-known director, I suppose. Good to know. Okay, anyway. And then, oh my god, the mom. The mom from every single K-drama is there. And if you guys don't know her, she's the one from like Hi Bye Mama. The one mom. What's her name? She's just in every single K-drama she's been in. It's Okay Not to Be Okay. She's been in, I don't know, like recently when I watched Crash Course in Romance. My goodness, she was absolutely everywhere. Where is she? I just don't know her name because, like, my family just refers to her as the mom in every single K-drama, every single K-movie, because she's just, like, that well-known almost. Wait, what is this? Speaking of Crash Course in Romance, that one is really, really popular. Good for them. Because I initially just watched it because Netflix was promoting it on, I know I'm getting kind of off topic here, but they were promoting it on TikTok, and I was like, oh, this seems interesting, so I watched it. And it was nothing like what the TikTok actually showed in itself, but it really had me thinking. TikTok is such a great place to promote movies to especially such a young audience because they will immediately watch it if they're influenced by what they see on TikTok, right? Found her. Found her. Kim Bi-kyung. Is that her actually? Yes, yes, her. If you happen to know her. Kim Bi-kyung. She's in every single K-drama. Like, I wonder how many K-dramas she's been as the same character. A mother. Anyway, that's not important. Okay, and then it moves on to the overweight main character guy losing weight. And he just lost weight just like that, and it was very unrealistic. They made him a totally different guy, and this connects to a plot twist. So from here, I'm gonna actually spoil the movie so that my review makes sense. And this is also the introduction of Crystal. So Crystal from FX, if you guys know her, and she is basically the coworker of the guy. I'm just gonna call him main character guy because later on you'll be confused. The one that lost extreme weight and looks like a whole different person. Try to guess what happens. Anyway, I absolutely love her character. She's so entertaining in this movie, and what she essentially is like this very cold looking coworker, but at the same time she loves eating, so she's constantly eating when she is working, and because of that she's very messy. Like, that's her image, although initially she seemed really cold and very distant from everyone else. she is actually in reality like this very messy and just like a really humble person. And there's actually like a twinge of comedy in midst of all of this, like I said, and it also shows a lot of the monotonous aspects of working in an office setting, and it's almost difficult to see, but at the same time when you see the main character complaining, you just want to go, then just quit the job or something, which obviously isn't the answer for everything, but yeah. And later, spoiler, the main character guy basically cheats with Crystal, and oh my goodness, I was so bad, and I would actually get trust issues for life, and it was just like so, yeah, hard hitting. Like you knew that would happen. You knew that he would cheat on his coworker because the movie essentially builds up to it. And the shift from very lighthearted and unrealistic and all happy and rainbows and cupcakes and all to the realism of this movie is what really hit hard. And from that point, I was like, wow. I really like this movie because it really showcases every aspect of life, and you really weren't expecting these aspects, but at the same time you were. So it's difficult. Like the emotions that I got throughout this movie was crazy. And oh my god, later, basically after he's cheating and all, in midst of cheating, let's just say, the main character guy goes with the original girl that was like the nurse. Let's just call her the nurse. And he calls the nurse Crystal's name. He calls her Poyong, which is Crystal's name in the movie. And I didn't even realize because I don't bother memorizing various names in K dramas or K movies, and I just go with, what they're saying to one another. So this made me realize, firstly, that I need to start memorizing the names because otherwise I can miss severe context clues. And then, secondly, wow, why would you call her someone that's you're cheating on? Like, yeah. Oh my god. And then the plot twist happens. And oh my goodness, this plot twist I would call it the best plot twist of the century, of the decade. Well, why did I just downgrade? Okay, of the decade, the century. Just oh my god, it was so good because what it builds up to is that the overweight guy develops into this whole different guy, right? But that's not the case. They're two different people, and the timeline is swapped. And this is really difficult to explain because the movie showcases this so well, and the fact that you can understand it immediately. Like the plot twist is like, oh, like that, not just like a wait, oh my god, really? Like it's just like immediately heart hitting, and I was just amazed. My mouth was quite literally open for 5 minutes at least. And this also had me thinking, no Korean movie is just boring for no reason. It's not going to be like that. There's going to be something crazy that happens near the end. And this was literally like 10 minutes before the ending. And I was just absolutely shocked because they were two different people, and what she was doing was basically kind of not cheating. I don't want to say cheating because they broke up and then she found the overweight guy that had hepatitis. I was just amazed. Okay, and then the next cage. I'm just kidding. But no, that was a really good movie, and I think if you enjoyed the full experience, you would really, really enjoy it. Okay, so the next cage drama that I'm going to talk about is Alchemy of Souls. And just a fair warning here, I did not finish it because I only watched like the first episode and it was just really not my cup of tea. And the genre of this is fantasy and also with a mix of historical K-drama. What I initially heard was it was like a modern K-drama, like a fusion K-drama that was historical at the same time. And I saw on someone's top K-drama list, this was first on their K-drama list, and then second was It's Okay Not to Be Okay. So I was like, okay, what could be better than It's Okay Not to Be Okay? So I tried watching this, but it just wasn't my style, and it's kind of unfortunate because I think I would have enjoyed it. Someone give me the push to watch it again because I think I will like it. I'm just not in the mood for it at the moment is what I'm thinking, because I've heard that the actress is really good. Chun Soo-mi, she's always really good, so maybe I will give it another try. Okay, and then the next K-drama that I watched also, I don't know if I like fully enjoyed it. Have I been ranking these? No. Well, anyway, it's okay. I'll just talk about them. This will just be titled a K-drama review. But the next one was Backstreet Rookie, and this one I started watching because it seemed fun. Like purely, I was just scrolling through Netflix, seeing what's good these days, and I thought this would be good because it had Kim Yoo Jung in it, and I really like Kim Yoo Jung because she was in, you know, 20th Century Girl, and I don't know, she's a good actress. So, yeah. I did actually see this on someone's worst K drama list on TikTok, and this was like a completely different person from who had the best one, and it was because of their age gap that's showcased in this K drama, and I don't like large age gaps, but it was Kim Yoo Jung, so I ended up watching it. And after about 15 episodes of watching, which is basically near the end because I think this has 16 episodes, I found that it was a 13 age gap, 13 years old. 1-3. So if you want to watch it, go for it. I feel like I will have to get to the review part before you make any judgments. But anyway, this is set in a convenience store because this girl, she likes this guy, and 13-year-old age gap, but he is the owner of a convenience store, and she tries to become a worker, an employee of this convenience store, and I like that aspect because it's like a convenience store. It's very like Korean, like it almost made me miss Korean convenience store and how convenient there are, because you know I didn't even realize that GS25, which is honestly one of the biggest convenience store brands in Korea, was sponsoring this K-drama. Like I didn't even realize until halfway throughout the K-drama, so good for them, I guess. But anyway, it did make me miss some aspects of Korea that I completely forgot about, which was convenience store. I make it sound like I haven't been to Korea in 10 years. No, I went a couple of months ago, but anyway. Wow, this water is cold. That's great. Okay. Yeah, I do really like lighthearted K-dramas that are easy to follow. That's the key point, easy to follow, and that is exactly this. And I don't know, it's almost sad at the same time though, because it showcases how working at doing service in any aspect, I think, is difficult, and this K-drama perfectly showcases that, because if you're an owner of a convenience store where it's basically run 24 hours, it's so hard, and gonna give it to him. This guy, I think, wait, what's his name? I don't want to get it wrong. Backstreet rookie. Why is my Wi-Fi so slow? Oh, Ji Chang-wook, yes. Ji Chang-wook is really good at acting. Like, he does a perfect job of acting tired, and I think he fits his character perfectly. And there's also another part of this K-drama where essentially it showcases the sister of the main character, of Kim Yoo Jung's character. And by the way, the main character, like the girl, her name is Jung Setbyeol, and her sister wants to become an idol, but she's affiliated with these almost just bullies, gangsters, whatever you'd like to call them, and they're like a group of people, and she is essentially blackmailed because I don't know why she's affiliating herself with them, but she thinks that it's good to follow them because then it'll give her more opportunities to become an idol, which is so not smart for her, but whatever, that's not my problem, I guess. And she's blackmailed because the group of bullies are like, okay, you stand there and you put your feet on this girl, which essentially makes it look like she's the bully, right? And they blackmail her and say that I need to have like 50% of your earnings later when you're an idol. And oh, that part made me so frustrated because honestly, that's such a reality that someone could go through. And once something is on your digital footprint, it is absolutely impossible for you to get rid of. And I feel like that is something that everyone needs to take note of these days. The things I see on the internet are crazy. Like, are you not concerned with this following you for the rest of your life? It's not like, I don't mean to be like, I don't know how to describe it, but in Korean it would mean gonde, like someone from the past. But back then, if you said something and it was controversial, it was okay, well, no one's gonna hear that ever again because it's not being recorded. But these days, if you like tweet something that's really questionable, that's gonna follow you for the rest of your life. And I know that's not the whole plot of this movie whatsoever. That was like one very small aspect of this K-drama. Sorry, not movie, K-drama. And that just really stuck with me personally. Okay, and then Kim Min-gyu is also in this movie. If you guys don't know him, he was in Business Proposal. He was the second lead. And oh my goodness, he is really, really good looking in this K-drama. Yeah. Wait. Oh. Yeah. And in the whole plot, it's a little bit confusing because everyone likes one another and just really odd. Okay, so Kim Min-gyu is an idol, or sorry, an actor, a really, really well-known actor, even in this K-drama. And him and Taepyeol, the main character girl, are childhood friends that used to do like taekwondo together. And let's not forget that Taepyeol used to, or still does, like the guy that's 13 years older than her. I think I can stop saying this now. I think you guys get the point. However, he has a girlfriend. Yeah. And they're kind of on and off, but at the same time, they're still together, is the way you can see it. Like, if you were to date someone else, that would be cheating. And this show is basically meant to antagonize Yeonju, which is the girlfriend of the convenience store owner. However, I feel really, really bad for her because even though she's probably not the best person out there with the best personality, convenience store owner guy, what's his name? Yeah, Taehyun, Choi Taehyun. He's still cheating on her. So I don't blame her for being so rude to Taepyeol, and you know, except for lying that Taepyeol beat her up when she was just trying to protect her, which is a big deal, of course, let's not forget that, but everything else she did and said was totally justified in my opinion, because this girl is trying to take him away and they're not fully broken up yet, so it makes the situation a lot more complex and definitely up for discussion. Yeah. And this kind of reminded me of Uri the Virgin, because essentially it's very similar, because the mother of the rich girl back in Uri the Virgin is painted to be the antagonist, but at the same time she really does nothing wrong, and it's kind of like the situation that places her in that bad position. And there's a lot of sad parts in this that you wouldn't expect from such a lighthearted K-drama, but it still catches you off guard, because in episode 10, I think everyone needs to watch this even if you're not watching the show in itself. Like, there's this, oh, it's so sad just thinking about it, but there's this part where the parents of Taehyun, the parents of the convenience store owner, just sit eating chicken and they cry because they're like, why can't we be successful and rich, and why does your status of being rich or poor impact you so much in life, so much in society? And that whole discussion is really upsetting to hear. It's just so sad, and it was just really upsetting. Anyway, up until sorry, I move on from one point to the next so quickly, but up until like episode 11, I thought the girl liked the guy since like high school or so, because that's what they initially showed in the first episode. However, it turns out that she liked him since she was like 5, because her dad, who died by the way, he used to own a taekwondo place, and this guy used to come there often, and that was just really, really weird. So I'm not entirely sure where this K-drama was going. Just the writer is definitely interesting. I'm now curious about who the writer is. Backstreet Rookie writer. Kunju? Is that a girl? Okay, she wrote, I've never heard of these. Return of the Mafia, Romantic Debtors, Never Give Up, My Sweet Family, Mom is Acting Up, Here He Comes. Never heard of them. So I guess, oh, she is a female. Okay. Well, yeah, that's really interesting. I think Backstreet Rookie is the most well-known amongst those movies, considering I've never heard of the other ones. Yeah. And there's another aspect of this, which is essentially some other characters that are introduced in the K-drama that I also want to discuss about. And it's essentially the convenience store owner's friend. And he is this very unsuccessful comic drawer writer. And just remember that guy. And then the main character, like Taepyeol's friend, is very, very rich. Also remember her. And they kind of are enemies initially, and they are the comedic relief couple in this K-drama. And I think comedic relief couples are the cutest because, I don't know, it's just like really cute. And they have a lot in common, and essentially them being enemies to lovers is so obvious that it's gonna happen, but that's kind of what makes it fun, because you know that they'll end up together. And I was rooting for them much more than Taepyeol and Taeyeon, although the age gap is probably going to be more similar, but their maturity levels are the same. Like, the comic writer guy, he's extremely immature, and the girl's also kind of not so mature because she's like rich and she thinks, yeah, she's not very educated as well. For some reason, she's still in high school, which I think she went back to high school after her dad wanted her to. Anyway, I support that, and I honestly felt really bad for Mingyu's character. So going back to the actor that was childhood friends with Sepyeol, really bad for him because he is trying his best to make it shown that he likes Sepyeol, but she's just like, nope, I only like Taeyeon, and I felt so sad for him, and that's the side lead syndrome, I guess, feeling bad for the side leads because they're simply just off to the side and not given that much screen time. Although he is given some screen time, it's not as much as Taehyun, of course. And every time you think, oh, will he and Sepyeol get together, you're like, not a chance. And I think I was pretty convinced by that because there was no chance that they were gonna get together. Anyway, there's this, I don't know, it's just like kind of cringy, the main couple. So I wasn't in love with the K-drama. I honestly just wanted to finish it, and that is exactly what I did. I wasn't in love with this K-drama at all, and I honestly think everyone deserves a friend like the comic writer friend, because every time Daehyun needs to go out or something or go take a vacay day, he just calls him. Does he get employed? Never. Does he get earnings? Well, it's never really mentioned in the K-drama except for the one time where he offers him $5 for a meal to buy somewhere outside of the convenience store. So that's really upsetting. Like, honestly, everyone needs a friend like that where you just simply need him for your convenience. He's on his way. Yeah, the main character really needs to treat him better because a friend like that is extremely, extremely rare. Yeah. Yeah, this is what I mentioned here. I wrote notes, as I always do for K-dramas, and there's like a lot of casual cheating, and the casual cheating line is very back and forth. It makes you wonder like if they're truly cheating or not, and it's just like, is that okay of them to do? Because there's just so many characters that are involved in this love arc that it's not even like a love triangle, it's like a love star where there's so many characters involved. And I think it's almost promoting normalized violence because I guess I never mentioned this, but Tepper, because she did taekwondo, she's like very good at kicking people, violence, all of that, and she uses violence to get out of any situation. And I don't know, does this promote violence? Who knows? But it definitely does have the message of violence is the answer, in fact, and I was not in love with that, and that might be stretching it, but that's my personal opinion on that. And then the next one I'm going to be talking about, which is a K-drama that I actually never finished, and it's actually so sad because I really wanted to watch it. It's called Familiar Wife, and this one I started watching because there was a really, really cute scene up on TikTok, and I screenshotted it like a year ago saying, oh, I'll watch it later, and I actually never ended up watching it, so I thought this might be the time to watch this K-drama. And it was just really boring and hard to follow. Like, I don't know how those two mixed together, but it was uninteresting and the plot was difficult to follow, and it didn't really immediately grab my attention, so I dropped it at like second episode or third episode. If you guys think this is worth watching, let me know, or just let me know your thoughts on it without spoiling, because like I said, I only watched it about EP 2 or 3. Okay. So the next one that I actually watched for real, as I mentioned, was Crash Course in Romance. And this one I also watched through a TikTok because a YouTuber recommended it to me personally, and also I saw it on TikTok, and I saw the girl from 20th Century Girls, so I was like, okay, I'm watching it. By the way, I love her. Yoonso? Is that her name? Crash Course in Romance. Anyway, she's doing very successful. Yoonso, yeah. No Yoonso, sorry. Yeah, and oh my god, funny thing about this, yesterday, like I watch it with my family, or my family also watches it. We don't always watch it at the same time, but anyway, I just realized that the main character from this guy is dating Soo-young. I knew that she had a boyfriend and he was an actor, but I didn't connect the dots. And I've been watching it, I don't know how many episodes are released. I think 12 episodes are released so far, and yeah, 12 episodes are released, and I I didn't notice that he was the guy that was dating Suyoung up until now. I just thought it was some random dude that I would never watch a K-drama on. There's 16 episodes, which is great. And honestly, the percentage of people watching this in Korea is crazy. Like the nationwide, or sorry, the Seoul percentage is 15.9%. So like almost 16% in one episode. I think that was episode 10. Crazy, absolutely crazy. And I don't know, I think it's a good K-drama. Initially I was in love with it, which is why I told my entire family to watch it. I was like, this is a must watch. I have, like, you guys have to watch it and discuss it with me. So they were like, okay, and they watched it. And then as soon as I told them to watch it, which was like episode 4, episode 5, it got uninteresting, in my personal opinion. I don't know, but it's really high quality, and the person that directed this also directed Hi Bye Mama. They did Hometown Cha Cha Cha, so they're really good at what they're doing, clearly, because every single show that they do is quite successful. And it almost showcases the life cycle of high school students, especially grade 12 students. So that's 고3, high school, like level 3. And it shows how crazy education is in Korea, how moms are all in for their children's education, and if you're not, that's weird. And it was really easy to follow this K-drama, especially with my short retention rate, both. Anyway, yeah, there's just like a lot of realism to this K-drama, which I enjoy, and I think that's why it's quite popular in Korea, because it perfectly encaptures the lifestyle of these grade 12 students, and it almost made me relatable. At the same time, I'm not going through the same thing as them at all in Canada. Like, education in Canada is so much more different than in Korea. It's a lot more laid back. Like, you think I would be watching all these K-dramas if I was in Korea right now? No, I would be sitting down studying 24 hours a day. Anyway, yeah, I did really feel pity for this main character girl, the one played by No Yoon-seo, and the backstory of the mother or the aunt came in, and that part broke me. The grandmother, wait, spoiler, grandmother dying because of a car. I cried like crazy, and that part really, like, I don't know, hit me for some reason. And the grandmother was that lady that I was talking about, that is the mom of every single person in a K-drama. Yeah. And what I really love about this is that the K-drama writing is very straight to the point, and it lays out everything very clearly. Like, it's not confusing because all the characters' families are very distinct and unique, so it's not easy, or it's easy to tell them apart, and it's easy to tell who's who, which I really like, because especially in such a monotonous setting like this, like where it's just like high school lives, it can be a little bit complex, and it not only showcases the high school life. I feel like I've been kind of focusing on that aspect, but it also shows like the mothers of these various students and their positions, and also hagwons, which hagwons are kind of like academies, like learning centers, after school learning, things like that. And the main character guy, Jung Kyung-woo, who he plays, Chechiar, is one of these, oops, I totally forgot about where I left off, but I'm just gonna move on to the very next point, which is that the show really does create a lot of empathy for, sorry, I ate mangoes, so like I'm still digesting that, but anyway, this show really creates a lot of empathy for every single character, even the teacher, who's made out to be this really prickly kind of guy that no one really wants to interact with. And I mean, not just him, but it makes me really sad that all of these students are constantly under pressure, under stress, and it's honestly like understandable how some of them are honestly really, really like prickly as well, just like the teacher, because like Sua, which is one of the characters, and she's almost like the enemy of the main character's daughter, because she is also first place in her class, or maybe in her school, I don't directly remember, but she's almost always under stress because her mother is essentially the boss of all of the mothers that are in this specific academy. And I think her personality, Sua's personality, directly comes from her mother. Like, obviously, it is somewhat under her control. Like, she's what, 17, 18? She's got control of her own actions, but her like mother is honestly I think really influential towards her personality, like exposing Hay's private tutoring sessions on the blog post, the blog cafe that she owns. Like there's no reason to do that, and it just really shows that jealousy is also strong when everyone is under stress and everyone is under pressure. And I guess one thing I do really like is like the really odd relationships within the show. So what's her name? Oh, Naming-son, which is the main character, her brother is like in love with Chechir for some reason. Although he's the reason that stole his phone and then broke it later on. Anyway, he really likes Chechir for some reason, and it's kind of funny how Chechir is almost treated like some idol or some big celebrity in society in the show, because like fans protesting against him because he's dating another girl. Like, come on, he's just like a random tutor. I guess that's the only unrealistic aspect, is that no one tutor would be like this crazy popular. Although there have been popular, well-known tutors, but not to this level. But obviously with some K-dramas there's got to be some aspect of exaggeration, otherwise it would be very boring. And I don't know. I think I was mainly kind of relaxed throughout this K-drama. Like I wasn't fiercely taking notes on it like I was with Sweet and Sour, and that kind of makes me enjoy the whole watching experience slightly more because I don't have to comment on every single thing I dislike or like. But somewhat of the show is slightly predictable, and if you don't like lighthearted K-dramas, you definitely will not like this, because it's some lines are really cringe, especially when it gets to like episode 6 or so. I don't know why, but the lines suddenly get a lot more cringe than they used to be, and especially in the episode that I'm right now at, in episode 11 and 12. I can't, I have to skip it. I have to go take a lap and then go back to this. Sorry, my hand is really dry, and whenever I put the scented hand cream on, it burns. Like it really, really hurts, which makes me think I should stop using it, but I don't know why I haven't stopped, because it's just like a habit. It kind of really burns. It's like kind of red, you can see right there. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Oh yes. And it's just like so obvious that the two main characters will get together, but like the miscommunication plot, no one likes that. We all know that. And it's just very, very unnecessary. Although the acting is good for some people, like Hey, like the child of the main character, Naming-sun, is really, really good at acting, and I guess some parts of the speech that they make her say are questionable, and it honestly kind of reminds me of 2521, because I also have a controversial opinion on that. It's a popular show, everyone loves it, but the plot of both K-dramas got really boring after like episode 3, and I lost interest, because for 2521 I also went around telling people that I loved the show after like episode 2 or 3, and then it suddenly got worse. So maybe I should stop telling people to watch it unless I finish the whole K-drama. And I literally had to watch it in 1.5 speed on Netflix, and I literally wish there was a 2 times speed button on Netflix, but that isn't the case. I think the max you can go is 1.5. Don't know, maybe it's different from yours. And Hey also is in a love triangle, because there's this very athletic guy who starts studying because he has an injury, so he can't do floor hockey was it, anymore. And then there's another guy who's super smart, almost on the same level as him, although his mom's a lawyer, and the lawyer mom does not like Hey because she doesn't want him fooling around with a girl while he needs to study, right? So I personally like the friend with the lawyer mom, but my sister said that she likes the athlete guy. So, but then she later said that she likes the athlete guy as a person, but she ships Hey and this studying guy. And there's another side plot of this K-drama that makes it really unenjoyable for me personally, because the whole plot of the K-drama is very lighthearted, almost romance, and then there's a side plot that's about murdering, and basically you have to guess who the murderer is. And although it hasn't been, I mean, actually it has been revealed, so I'll just spoil it here. It's essentially the manager, 실장? What is that? Manager of the Chechir guy, the academy guy, and my mom spoiled that actually at like episode 9, because she read this Naver blog post and watched this YouTube video about the show, and she said that the assistant likes Chichir, so essentially what he's trying to do is kill anyone that gets close to him because he needs to be besties with him, which makes no sense at this moment, but I'm sure they'll like resolve that later on. And I had no clue that this plot twist was happening, but at the same time, it's not like a very fun plot twist for me. Like Sweet and Sour, that was a fun plot twist. That was very enjoyable, very surprising, but this one isn't. I don't know, it's surprising, but it's not very enjoyable for me personally. And there's also another ship that reoccurs. So Nam Heng-sun's brother and her friend are almost shipped together, but they don't really end up happening because he says it's weird that I'm dating you, who's my sister's friend, which makes sense because the three of them are like family, or like, I guess everyone in that whole family, the four of them are a family. So that part was really weird and very unnecessary. I don't know why the writer put that in there. I think sure he got very bored with it, but I do really feel bad for the friend though, because she just wants to find love and she's not getting that. So definitely feel bad for her. And there's a lot of characters that I feel bad for, like Suha, like I said. I think I would genuinely feel really bad for her if she wasn't that mean, obviously. I mean, I think she could be worse. Like, it's not the most vile thing a teenager could do. Obviously, people are sensitive about their grades, but you can tell that she has a lot of pressure, and because of that, that's why she's so 예민해, which is like sensitive. Yeah, why did I just say sensitive? Yeah, and that's kind of where we leave off. Although I did have one question. Your mom can be your own lawyer? I didn't really know that, and not sure if it's true. Maybe it's different for different countries. Is that allowed? Is your mom allowed to be your own lawyer? Lawyer. What? 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 Can you be your own lawyer? What? No, that was not my question, but apparently you can represent yourself in the Supreme Court of Canada. Can a lawyer represent family? Lawyers are allowed to advise friends, family members, spouses, and other people with whom they're acquainted. Oh. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, well that's just misinformation on my part. Good to know, because I thought that was like illegal and that's some fantasy world in this K-drama. But that's where we leave off. I do still have 4 more episodes to watch. By the time this is released, I will still have 4 more episodes to watch. So in the next K-drama review, I'll finish off that and then get back with you with more other K-dramas, K-movies. But in the meantime, feel free to suggest anything that I should watch. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye. I'll probably be back with the Girls Planet, or Girls Planet? What in the world? Boys Planet review. Bye bye.